Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. 4 months ago, I introduced you guys to this ant colony, which you saw grow from just a queen to a strong young colony. We watched closely to see their incredible rise as they slowly grew, then got their first majors. These ants are polymorphic, which means having worker ants of varying sizes and shapes within a single colony. They are often linked to different tasks or roles. These ants in particular have majors to crush seeds and cut up larger prey due to their larger muscle-dense heads. As well as this, they also act as a replete to store excess liquids and food due to their large gasters. And now, after 6 months of growing this colony, they finally exceeded their old home, so it's time to give them an upgrade. Say hello to what I like to call the Golden Fortress. This is just a placeholder name for now, so leave your suggestions in the comments below and I'll put them in a poll for all of you to vote in. Along with a name for their home, leave a name for the colony in the comments below as well, and I'll put it in a poll too. But enough of that, let's move these ants into their new setup. One ant has managed to escape, but don't worry as I'll deal with her in just a bit. Now that the test tube is attached, I can remove the foil as they won't be needing it anymore. With the foil off, they're now comfortably in their new setup. There's only one thing left to do though, and that is to move the rest of the colony in, as there's still a large number of ants inside of the old outworld. So I'll start the ant counter now. While I'm tediously moving these ants one by one, I'd like to take the time to thank all of you, sincerely. Even if my shoddy upload schedule doesn't reflect it, you all make my day. And to be honest, I'm only able to keep ants and keep making these videos thanks to each and every one of you watching. So thank you again. Now that that's out of the way though, we'll go back to the ants. This species in particular comes from one of the hottest places in the world, the Sahara Desert, renowned for being one of the hottest and driest places on Earth, which is one of the reasons that repletes are so important to them. The less than 1 inch of rainfall every year means that every drop counts, and to make sure they take full advantage of this, they have repletes, which can store water for months so that the colony won't dry out. Because of this, young colonies usually have it quite rough, as they have very limited resources to grow. Luckily for this colony though, they have me, and as I've given them excess resources like food and water, their growth has been accelerated, and they thrived. I wouldn't be surprised if they outgrow their setup too in the next few months. If you are wondering how I'm able to pick up these ants without hurting them, then let me answer you. These tweezers are especially designed to be able to pick up small insects without hurting them, suitably named featherweight tweezers due to their lightweight and low force. If you want to pick up a pair for yourself, then go to the Ants HQ link in the description below. Now that I've moved most of the ants from the old outworld into the new one, I'm sure they're hungry, so I'll give them a cotton ball soaked in sugar water to satiate the workers. And now with the final ant in the outworld, it's time to give them what they've been promised. When a new food source is detected by the colony, the workers set out pheromones, chemical signals invisible to the human eye that ants use to communicate with their colonies and coordinate behaviours like foraging and defence. In this instance, the ants are using trail pheromones. Trail pheromones are a common pheromone which ants deposit as they return to the nest from a food source, creating a quote-unquote invisible highway for other ants to follow. In this instance, you can see the ants leaving the cotton pool and going to the left, where the colony's test tubes are located. As they leave the cotton pool, they start the trail, and the ants inside the test tubes pick this up. Then they head over to get a much deserved drink. And apparently the ants thought it was so good that even the majors had to have a bit of it. All was going well and the colony was starting to settle in. Well, that was until I found out that they'd figured out how to escape. In between the 3D printed holes and the test tubes was a very small gap, but it was not small enough to stop them from escaping. Now, this would have been catastrophic if I didn't realise, so it was full priority and I went straight to fixing it. And honestly, it was very simple. All I had to do was use some blue tack and stretch it around the part where the test tubes connected to the outworld, effectively making a seal. Then I just had to repeat for the other 2 test tubes, and boom, their setup was officially escape proof. Even though they just tried to escape and run amok, I still like them. So as a way to try and make peace with them, I'll be giving them 3 whole fruit flies as dinner. I hope they enjoy. And I'll double check closing the lid so there aren't any more escapees. Well, it's safe to say they enjoyed that meal, as they swiftly dragged 2 of the 3 fruit flies straight home to feed their larvae and queen. We'll come back in a few days to see how they're getting on. Wait, what was that? Oh, that's my Discord server. Here, you can talk about ants with experts in the hobby, and share your own colonies with the Species Journal, or Ant Pics, or you can just chat to other ant enjoyers. You can join it by clicking the link in the description below. It's kind of empty right now, so I'd greatly appreciate you joining. And back to the video. After a few days, the fruit flies are completely gone, and they've moved a large amount of brood into the neighbouring test tube. However, they have left a large amount of pupae in the main tube, which will soon hatch to be the next generation of workers for the colony. The queen is also still in the middle tube, sitting on top of the pile of brood. To get the colony to grow faster, they need a lot of protein. I'll do this through a mealworm. This relatively small insect is massive compared to these ants, so we'll feed them for multiple days, even stretching to a week. By giving the colony a large source of protein, this will indicate to the queen to produce more eggs, as they'll have a surplus of food. Within the following weeks, those eggs will turn to larvae, then pupae, then finally workers. The colony perfectly responded to this food. By sending out mages with large, powerful cutting mandibles, they can open up the mealworm to gain access to the protein-rich insides. Then the swarm can quickly consume it. Before you leave, I'd like to thank you for sticking around to the end, as it really helps me out. I also encourage you to take part in the naming in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!